XRP Spot ETF is approved new, and the SEC's appeal is also void. Guys, what's going on right now? And I also have a personal theory about what Trump is currently planning, which is quite positive for Bitcoin reserves. To my theory and all the other news about what's happening out there right after the intro, now new from UP Trend VIP Trading, your opportunity to copy the signals of 2 professional traders for free. They managed to grow an account from $4,000 to $30,000 within 2 months. The results in the group are also impressive. All you need for this is a deposit of $100 into your BingX account. You can find all further information below in the description. Yes, this is crypto. So if you are experiencing your first bull run right now, then welcome. Because yes, such ups and downs are completely part of it. And suddenly everything is green again here. There are a few old players involved, like for example Bittenzor. Didn't I just read about that a few days ago? Yes, no, and it's dead and so on. Strange. So the bearer chain is back again. So if anyone is interested in the topic more deeply, I was made aware of it through a project already in the middle of last year that this thing is supposed to perform well. You can also see a pretty strong trend right now. So if I should take a closer look at it, feel free to write it in the comments. Swayba is also back in the game. And IP? What is this now? Stop! Before we get to that, I would like to thank you briefly. Yes, I know, these are tough times. Oh, yes, I know right now everyone thinks we're in a bear market and that it won't go any further. Now you should stay tuned, and I see it every day. The clicks remain, which means you are in the game with us and we are fighting through the dark phases. So many thanks also for all the likes that come in because they incredibly boost the algorithm. So, if you want to support this channel, my hours of research and all the work, and want to see this channel grow further, you can do so easily and for free by simply giving a like now, by leaving a short comment. And if this is your first time on the channel, and you're wondering what is this guy doing here, well, he provides you with all the important daily news, fact-based, neutral, transparent, and important without hype. Because hype is very, very difficult when investing, and also the perfect trading setup day by day. So, if you're interested, you too can become an uptrender. Just subscribe for free now. And activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. And now let's continue. Before we get to all the Trump news and of course the XRP news and whether they are all true, I've done a bit of research. Let's take a look at a short story or story protocol. By the way, if you found any projects out there and you say, Daniel, can you take a look at this, and is it even possible? And is it exciting? Then feel free to write it in the comments. In any case, this project is currently outperforming alongside the bearer chain. We're talking about a layer 1 blockchain here. Another blockchain again? No, wait, it tokenizes and manages intellectual property. Now there are some news, but the big question is, why is this thing pumping right now? Sure, funding rounds are completed, but that was already in August 2024. Technologically innovative is the partial year, we'll leave it at that. However, the mainnet launch, that could perhaps be the decisive reason why this thing is being pushed so much right now. Because the mainnet launched on the 13th February of this year, and that is logically a milestone. Now, one can quite strongly assume that things are working, which is also why this pump happened. Now, let's move directly to the crypto news. So let's first take a look at the Fed. They published their meeting minutes again yesterday. And yes, what can one say? So, unfortunately, the tenor is also in there, which Paul has already announced accordingly. Last week during the Senate hearing, we are cautious about any interest rate cuts. However, I have already talked about it in a previous video that Trump might indeed have some budgetary tricks, could plunder, and what effects that has already had in the past. If you haven't seen the video yet, feel free to click in here. Now, to a possible thesis that I'm just going to propose, the USA, they hold quite a lot of gold reserves. So, theoretically speaking, now the topic is, and I find it very, very interesting, that amusingly enough, the same issues seem to exist in the USA as they do in Germany. Yes, is the gold really there? Or are they just saying that the gold is there? And now we have to wait and see because Musk wants to investigate the whole thing. This has been repeatedly mentioned on X. And now, in the meantime, he also has the support of the US president. By the way, at this point, there is only one German party, without getting political here, that wants to bring all the gold reserves back to Germany. They are, by the way, stored in Fort Knox, just to mention in passing. So that's also interesting. I only found out a few days ago. In any case, long story short, the whole thing is supposed to be reviewed. Now one can ask the big question, why? Because gold is currently hovering around its next all-time high. And one can also wait and say, okay, in itself, the USA is not badly positioned to have such a focus on gold. Now, the USA could go ahead and say, okay, since gold is currently at such a high level, well, unfortunately, the chance is relatively close that a correction could occur. Why not skim off a part of these profits now to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve? Yes, folks, yeah, crypto, yes, I know. But everything is still focused solely on Bitcoin. So let's stick with Bitcoin reserves. Build a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and then also take advantage of price gains. Overall, this would be a clever move. Now, there are only two possibilities. So basically, Trump could go ahead and say, I issue a decree. And with that, it takes its course regarding the Bitcoin reserves. This means that the whole thing could be implemented as early as the second half of 2025. The small problem with this is the next president who comes to power, yes, folks, of course, we want to make money in this bull run, so we don't care. No, just kidding. Basically, the next president who comes could simply reverse the whole thing. Sort of. So that means dissolving the entire reserves. Therefore, it would be much smarter in the long term to anchor the whole thing in a law. But that just takes time. And with that, we come to the next news about DOGE. Or rather, Musk. Trump is considering that 20% part of the savings through DOGE be redistributed to US citizens. Folks, that's wild. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what does this have to do with crypto? Relatively simple. If US citizens have more money, then there is also more money available for speculation. And risk assets like the stock market, or especially crypto, are at the forefront. And if you just consider what has been saved here in the last few weeks in a very short time, which is absolutely wild, then you can say that there should be quite a few euros per household coming out of it. And if all these households possibly go into crypto together, then it can really get wild. So at this point, public call, dear. Elon, when you're done, feel free to come to Germany, because there are still some construction sites and budget holes that could definitely be filled. If, on the other hand, the funds are not wasted senselessly. And now let's move directly to the XRP news. So, first of all, we have Musk, who could now be in a dispute with the SEC. I won't delve into the topic. I've already mentioned it a few days ago. Whether this is positive or negative for XRP, I have no idea. If you're interested in more detail, feel free to click into this video. However, I have found some more news. Namely, this one. The SEC is withdrawing its appeal. So, I went deeper into the search. Apart from this one article, I found nothing else out there that would support it. So we're talking about the appeal regarding programmatic sales. I read it again because I assume you might not know it in detail either. It's always about this securities trading in the case. But regarding Ripple and programmatic sales, it means Ripple sold XRP tokens on public trading platforms without specifically targeting individual buyers. Buyers on the platforms often did not know that they were purchasing their XRP directly from Ripple. So far, so good. But still, so I would be cautious with this information for now, because I couldn't find anything indicating that the SEC has any appeal, has filed, withdrawn, or whatever. What is a fact, however, is that there is the first XRP Spot ETF, and it's in Brazil. Hey, that's like a carnival, and you can really see it that way, because clearly, now the first Spot ETF is already out there. And it has been approved by Hashdex, traded on the B3 exchange. So that's already quite nice. Additionally, there is more news about it, as the Brasa Group plans to introduce a new stablecoin called BBRL. And it is supposed to be hosted on the XRP ledger. So there's quite a bit going on there as well. Guys, I really see this as a positive sign. I'm neutral about such things, but now that the first spot ETF is out, we can wait and see what follows. Aside from that, yes, the official start date has not been announced yet. However, further details are expected to follow shortly. And now a quick look at my trading setup for today in the channel that I manage externally. And I can show you here already, several positions have been closed in profit. The only concern remains Solana. I also talked about it in detail yesterday. Feel free to click in here. However, I've already opened some limit orders here again. A quick look at XRP. So what you can see here is already the volume block was nicely tested here, or rather, there was a direct rejection upwards. Then this volume block was approached, and now we are currently on a downward path again. It also looks like, from a volume perspective, it seems that we will target this lower area again. By the way, I have also set a limit order there. A quick look at Ethereum, also quite exciting there, because everyone who says, yes, Ethereum is an underperformer and nothing is happening there. It's really fun to trade this thing. As you can see nicely here, each time the volume blocks were picked up here, down here, now back up. Tested this area just now, but also if you look at the volume here, yes, there's quite a lot down here. It's relatively obvious that we might say we'll target this area again, or even this one, of course, to some extent. The news can decide to a large extent, but if you look at it this way, then it's now moving upwards. Yes, it's building up a bit more if you strengthen the time frame a bit more. However, there's still a bit of a vacuum here right now. So due to the fact that we have the downtrend here, I personally believe we'll go back into this area again. But then, if there is less volume here, or if the volume decreases or less volume is added, it is quite conceivable that we will target this area here. However, everything is now somewhat oriented towards Bitcoin, and a significant amount of volume has indeed built up there. So if we take a look at this, we are currently here. Sure, it was a sideways trend, but I've already mentioned some rather bullish news. Now, we have the volume here, okay? Yes, briefly tested down here, but there's practically nothing left there. And the largest volume block is well over 100K at almost 105,000. So I would now take a look at what other news might come today. And even if you go to the 1 month view on the heat map, yes, it's long, but still we see quite a lot up here. Volume is present. Sure, there's a slightly darker area here, but just what can be picked up here. And then we are again in this range up here where we are already between, yes, even 106, 107 up to 109,000. So we would be in a new all-time high. So yes, let's wait and see. I don't want to sound too bullish, but it already looks quite noble. That should be it for today. I'm very curious about what you think about it. Do you say XRP? Yes. Now the penny has dropped. Now it's really taking off. Do you think the bull run is back, or is this just a fake breakout? I am very curious. Feel free to write about it in the comments. And if you like this video, you would incredibly support my work by leaving a free like. I would be super happy about it. In conclusion, I can give you the tip. Yesterday, I talked about the topic of Solana Libra. This $1 million scam, it's really wild. We're talking about over $100 million. Feel free to check it out. I have gathered all the details for it, researched for hours. Enjoy watching. We'll see each other tomorrow in the next video. Until all the best.